Hey everybody, the Johnny Cage here, welcoming you to another edition of Friday Night Skype. Tonight, I'm joined by my usual panel of video game hooligans, Alta Guide,
Yay,
B-Dude,
hello,
Utorai,
Batman,
Genray, Antlion Alpha,
alright,
and the Generation 71.
What's going on?
And our special guest tonight is ZhangFei500, everyone.
I
I like how you announced everybody as a hooligan. That's very rarely used nowadays. I like to call them scoundrels.
I would just come up with stuff off the top of my head. I have no idea what I'm going to say at the intro to any of these. I just say things.
It's well practiced, we can tell.
Yeah, I put a lot of work into it, believe me. I was on the bed today watching, what was I watching today? I was watching, I think I was watching The Decline of Western Civilization Part 2, The Metal Years.
And you get your inspiration from that?
I don't know, it's pretty good.
Now everybody knows the secret.
I got to learn a lot of what it was like to be a struggling musician on a Sunset Strip during the late 80s. Pretty tough stuff right there.
Remember, kids, if you want to be the Johnny Cage, just watch this movie.
Just watch the world slowly decline in destruction.
It is.
Kind.
It's kind of
Some
educational.
men just want to watch the world burn.
Yes,
I just want to burn
especially in that kind of enthusiasm. Alright, so ZhangFei500, he is our guest tonight. So the first thing that we ask every guest, well, it's not always the first thing, but it generally is, what is your favorite video game of all time?
Well, that would, I would, say Final Fantasy 7. Only one thing, because B-Dude would kill me, but I'm not, because it's purely nostalgic reasons. I'd have to say it's Saga Frontier for the PlayStation 1.
I have no idea what that is.
It's an RPG made by Square. It came... I can't remember exactly when it came out. I think it was a little bit after Final Fantasy 7. It's part of the Romancing Saga series, which was originally supposed to be a Final Fantasy.
Interesting
but it was
trivia.
different, so they just kept it as its own game. I think it's the fourth iteration of the series. There was 3 of them on the Super Nintendo. We never saw the light of day of them.
Oh.
And then the first one we got was on the PlayStation, and then they came out with a sequel, and some other ones I don't want to speak about on the PS2.
Well.
It's very terrible.
They all suck.
Okay, no, Romancing Saga for the PS2 was good. Unlimited Saga, well, B-Dude knows my hatred for that game.
Apparently.
You can actually buy the Super Nintendo ones in English on certain websites.
Yeah, reproduction cards.
Yeah, I missed out on a lot of good PS1 games. I didn't get my PS1 until, the end of its life, practically.
I traded in my Saturn to get a PlayStation 1, although it was my brother who talked me into it. I was loving my Saturn, but he saw a commercial for Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
And it was like, dude, he woke me up. I was like, dude, we gotta get a PlayStation. I was like, I just got the Saturn with the, and he talked me into it, and we sold it. Didn't get a memory card. We got a PlayStation, and we rented Final Fantasy 7. So you can see how far we got as kids.
So were you mostly not so much a Nintendo fanboy growing up like so many others?
No, my first system was a Nintendo. My dad bought it when I was real young. I didn't actually play video games when I was growing up until I was about 6. I watched my brother play. That's all I did, just watched him. And then one day, I played Mario Brothers. After seeing him play it so much and beat the whole thing in one setting, and he'd never beaten it, I thought it was hilarious.
World
My
8
parents
gets
were blown
really
away.
hard when you got the Hammer Brothers just relentlessly coming at you.
The Hammer Brothers are just the worst thing ever.
Nintendo, I got from Nintendo, and then I went to Genesis, and then I think we got Saturn, and then PlayStation, and then 64. I have a bunch of systems. I have over 350 games over many different systems.
It's a fair collection right there.
Yeah.
So, well, it seems that you're still a big fan of RPGs then in general. It's like your go-to genre, if you will.
That, fighting games, I play lots of
fighting
Street Fighter.
Ooh, you're telling me. That was the main reason I got a Super Nintendo, was because I saw Street Fighter 2 and was like, I gotta have it. And, yeah, that's how that went.
Although
If
I didn't
I
get
may-
to play that. Oh no, go ahead, man.
I was gonna say after all this, I thought you were done. I was gonna say, if I may point out something, and I've said it before the FNS recording, he does ZhangFei500 to all our viewers not sound like a voice actor for College Humor. I'll let you guys debate that.
Either that or a stand-up comedian, because I think I might have heard him for a stand-up comedian routine.
You sound like a stand-up comedian generation.
Oh, thank you. I actually take very, very much pride in that. I want to be a stand-up
I sent you
comedian
the
like
video, didn't I, of that? Someone...
that. You can send it to me
I
later.
hope it's not
Armando
Carlos
Sante.
Mencia, at least.
Oh, the guy. Yeah, okay.
Sante, 'cause-
Now I feel offended. So.
now I'm just pissed. All right.
I'm a huge fan of comedy, so I watch a lot of comedians, and I do a lot of impersonations. I was hanging out, or I was in the Skype panel not too long ago with B-Dude, Ginray, and them, and I did a couple impersonations for him. I was doing Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
You gotta do
Like,
him now that you mentioned it.
One of my favorite lines is, he comes up, Frolic comes up and says, "Hey, Carl, you know what day it is?" "Yeah, I know what day it is. Today I download porn at 26 kilobytes per second." "Nah, I'm messing with you. That's okay. I got a cable modem back there." "Come on, Carl, don't you want to party? The guys are ready." "No, what? It looks like they're done partying. What they're doing now is loitering, and it is very illegal."
Oh, that's awesome.
I did Cleveland down as well, but
Oh, well, please continue. No, this is totally, once you say it, now you gotta do like 3 of them, if not 10. We got an hour to fill here, alright? You gotta fill it with something.
well, Cleveland, I always did a line, just one line I remember. He popped up and said, "Hey, Peter," hold on, it's hard to do it. "Hey, Peter, if you haven't noticed, there's a balloon on my mailbox, which is the international symbol for party over here."
Nailed it
The
dead on.
laugh is so perfect. My goodness.
I love it.
Oh, man. Well, alright, I'll leave it at 2 invitations, I suppose, for now.
Yeah, that's enough.
Like,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I took performing arts all 4 years of my high school, and I was known for being able to do a lot of accents. But I gotta say, I can't do a Carl or Cleveland, and definitely not as good as you can. Like, I'm not just blowing smoke here. Like, that made my night. I'm happy.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I can do a better Lois than I can a Peter.
Do your lowest.
Lowest, that's amazing. Do it. I
Oh,
guess.
wait, what? You're telling me to do it?
Yeah, do it.
I got.
do it.
What's something she says? Let me think.
She says
Peter,
Peter.
I told you not to drink at Stack Party.
Peter, I told you not to drink the stack party.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll give you an 8 out of 10 on that. Maybe an 8.5.
I'll give you a Batman out of Batman.
I'll give you 3 Batmans out of 4 stars.
Photo.
See, the beauty of my type of comedy is I'm a really I use a lot of gestures when I talk to my friends, and where I used to work, I would impersonate everybody, and everybody was just like, "Damn, you know, I get down to everybody's mannerisms and how they speak to a T, and I would just do it right next to them." And that's what I love to do, just impersonation.
Have you ever done a video of just impersonations?
No.
You should do that. That would be pretty cool. That would. I could see that blowing up. 'Cause you did those really well.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. But, I mean, speaking of PS1 and RPGs, looking through your playlists of games that you've played so far, you have Shadow Hearts on there. And it's funny that you have that on there. I was just watching a video from Metal Jesus Rocks. He's pretty big in the retro community. And he was doing like a Hidden Gems video that just came out today, actually, for the PS2. And he mentioned Shadow Hearts. And so that got me kind of intrigued. Would you say that's, for like the RPG lover, that's something that everyone should play?
It really, I really, if you like RPGs, it is a really good. It's different. It's still got that traditional. You choose your attack, and the enemies you have to wait for their turn and all that good stuff. Final Fantasy style.
Yeah.
But they threw in a little bit of a different way of attacking, in a sense. It's called the Judgment Ring. Every action that you take uses this ring, and it actually takes precision. So you're not just going attack, attack, attack. You actually have to. This wheel pops up, and a line goes around, and there's 3 areas that you have to hit. And for every hit you get, you actually do an attack. And down to the items, the buying stuff, just actions in the levels, you have to use that. So it's pretty good that way. The gameplay is awesome. The story is all right. It's your typical JRPG, hero saves the world, but it's a mature rated RPG. It's pretty dark for being an RPG. You don't see that very often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of great RPGs out there that get overlooked just because people are just looking for the titles that they know, whether it be Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy, of course, the Dragon Quest games, which I haven't even played a Dragon Quest game, but I've been really wanting to lately.
PS2
send you Dragon Quest 8 if you want, Johnny.
Really?
That's an amazing game.
I owe you something. I've heard that Dragon Quest 8 is really good, though. and everyone looks like Dragon Ball characters in it.
They do.
Dragon, rock the dragon.
Yeah, it's funny you say like Final Fantasy. The reason like Shadow Hearts was under the radar was because it came out the same time Final Fantasy X came out.
Oh, yeah, and that's my favorite Final Fantasy, actually.
Yeah, so it really got undershadowed by that, but fortunately it became a cult classic, and it got enough popularity that the company Azure, I think it's Azure or something, they released a second and a third one. But unfortunately, you won't see any more Shadow Hearts game, as they still own the rights to it, but they don't make video games anymore. They make pachinko machines.
Nice. Yeah, I feel the same way
is.
about, I think the same thing's true for the Star Wars Battlefront games, because I love those, but the third one's been in design hell forever, so I don't think we're ever going to see that, but I wish we would, because those games were so much fun. Love those so much. But anyhow, your biggest series, the series that you started out with, is a game that we know very well. At least some of us know really well. I know me and B-Dude, and a lot of us do now, because we still play it on a little server that floats around, and that's a game called Phantasy Star Online.
Oh, another game I never got to play.
Oh, probably one of the best underrated games. It seems like everyone that I talk to, if they played this game, it's a game that brings back a lot of fond memories. They just would love to, play it again. And I'd imagine the same is true for you. Did you start playing it when it came out on the Dreamcast originally?
Oh, yes. I played it on the Dreamcast when it was free to play online and all that.
That dial-up modem, man.
Dude.
With the
Don't
telephone
even get me
cord.
started.
Man, I remember it.
Johnny,
really well.
Johnny, did you play the Dreamcast version?
Yeah, oh yeah, I still got
Did you
version
play
1 and 2.
online?
Mm-hmm.
Then you know of all the hacking and the...
Oh, well, the bad stuff that was going down. Yeah, I mean, it got out of hand.
Getting your characters turned into other characters, and all the cheating that went on. It was an awesome game. I mean, that's why I ran through it as an LP. And through my videos, I describe my adventures through the Dreamcast version of how obscenely hacked that game was.
Yeah, it was really easy to hack. A lot of player killing going on. I remember a lot of people would could get into. Well, they didn't even have Ultimate then, did they? They only had Very Hard, if I remember.
Version 2, they came out with Ultimate.
Okay, well, because I remember people that could barely meet the level requirement going into games where the people there would be, for the first version when the level cap was only 100, they'd be in the 90s or so, and then. They'd just wait for them to die so that they'd drop their really rare weapon that they were using and snake the weapon and just get the hell out of there. I remember that being a huge problem, aside from the hacking that was going on.
It was an amazing game. It was ahead of its time. The Dreamcast was ahead of its time. It was one of the, there were other systems that did an online thing, but not quite to that level. It was way ahead of its time, and unfortunately, they released it too late. And
I mean, it had a
came
web.
against the PlayStation.
It had a web browser. I mean, I still have the keyboard for the Dreamcast. It was pretty cool. Honestly, it really was. I mean, it was at really low speeds. I remember sitting there for probably an hour at a time, just trying to connect to the server every now and again. But when he got on there, it was just so cool. It really was. But
did you ever manage to get a character to 200 on any of them?
No, I've never. Probably my highest guy has got to be on the episode 1 and 2 for the GameCube, and he's probably only around level 130ish. It's the highest I've ever gotten.
Highest I've gotten legitly was 186, and after that, and it was on the Dreamcast version.
Oh wow!
But how much you have to get? The experience increase ratio is just too ridiculous for me to grind it out.
Oh, especially when you don't have offline multiplayer and you've just got to do it all single player. I was so glad. I remember being
that was a problem with that game.
Yeah, I remember being a junior in high school and the GameCube version was coming out, and my friends were getting so pumped for it because we had played the Dreamcast version so much. And it's like, oh, split screen multiplayer, holy crap! It's so common. That was still common in games, when it came out. But it was just like, finally, this game has freaking offline multiplayer.
Oh yeah,
Jeez.
that was a big selling part to me. And I actually, in my LP, I hooked up to the shithack servers. I bought all the setup just for that game so I could go online and show some of the quests. And there's still about 10 people who play online on the GameCube version.
Yeah, well, we were playing
a small community.
Yeah, we were playing a free online version that you can download and jump on that server, and they probably have I would say about 300 people or so playing it at any given time. It's pretty cool
Yeah.
to jump on that.
It's surprising how popular it is.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, it still is. It is a great game. But, yeah, I mean, we've talked about it on a number of occasions. And if anyone out there, I'm pretty sure you can get it on the GameCube really cheap if you want to give it a try.
Actually, no. It's expensive. It's
No?
like $60.
Yeah, it's one of the more sought-after GameCube games, Johnny.
Really? Are you sure?
Why is it always
Yep,
60
I bought it on Amazon. I had to buy it on Amazon for about $60.
Really? I could have
Cheap
sworn I
as
just
like-
saw it on, like, Lukey Games for, like, $10 the other day. I mean, I know there's one edition of it
What is
that's
it,
really
the
expensive.
PSO Online Plus?
Yeah, there's the plus
Episode
ones
1
that's
and 2
expensive.
Plus, it's like $300.
Yeah, but there's just, like, the regular edition I don't think is nearly
Mm.
that much.
Regular edition 60, the Plus version, I saw one that was new, it was like $300. The next cheapest was 100 and something.
All right, well, we'll check it out. Someone will, maybe. And also, you've been playing the Fatal Frame games, which I've never gotten into. Then again, I'm not a big fan of survival horror games, but they definitely make for great Let's Plays. I mean, one of my favorite Let's Plays still was when Turnips Bro Radish did Resident Evil 4, just because that was just, you can't go wrong with getting shit scared out of you. So, I don't know. What do you have to say about those? They worth playing even now? Have they aged well?
Fatal Frame, well, the first one on my playlist, it was blind. I never played the first one. I started on the second one. My brother brought it home one day, and I played it and thought it was amazing. It's aged quite a bit, the first and the second one, because the controls are kind of and your characters, like, they run at the speed of slow. I don't understand.
Yeah.
All of them do it. Every single Fatal Frame, they make the characters just slowly run, even though when a ghost is trying to kill them, The one I'm playing now is the Wii version, which is actually a remake of 2 that only came out in Europe and Japan. We actually didn't get it here in America. It kind of sucks. But I love the series. I've played 2, 3, 4, which is, I think it's Fatal Frame 0, I think is what it's called. Or the Mask, Moon of the Mask, or Mask of the Moon, something like that. I played through that one. Someone actually had a fan translation of it. I got that. Played through it, loved it. If you like a good scare, I mean, those games will mess with you. It's just the ambiance in them is always scared the crap out of me. Ghosts scare me.
I think there's a lot of potential in those games, but it's just the fact that a lot of them, the controls have not aged at all. Look at the old Resident Evil games. It's like there's really, you have to have had played those when they first came out to really go back and enjoy them again, in my opinion, because they've just, the fixed camera angles, the sloppy controls, it's just nothing appealing about them anymore, in my opinion.
The inability to strafe.
Yeah. I mean, even Resident Evil 4.
Those are the classics. You can't hate on. Well,
But even like
controls
Resident
aren't
Evil
bad.
4,
I will give that to you.
great game, but even that has already shown a great deal of aging. It's not that old. Was that like 2003-ish? 2004?
The PlayStation?
No, just Resident Evil 4.
The Resident Evil games didn't come out.
No,
Or are you talking about the
4.
Fatal Frame?
No, I'm talking about Resident Evil 4.
Oh, 4. Okay, I was going to say, what the hell?
No.
I was confused. It's kind of hard to hear, Johnny. For some reason, I'm picking you up in and out.
Oh, sorry. Skype likes to do that to me for some reason. I don't know. That happened last time we did this. But anyhow. So, well, that's where the games are going right now. I just want to divert really quickly to some new games that came out. And Generation is our go-to guy for Assassin's Creed 3. So do you want to give us the lowdown on that game?
Yeah, sure. Any specific questions you want to know about it, or just give an overall summary of it?
I'm only slightly familiar with the first and second one, so I mean, I'm sure you played all 3 of them.
I played technically 1, 2, 3, 4, all 4 of them technically.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, if you just want to give a quick rundown of your thoughts of it, how it compares.
Well, as far as my overall thoughts, I mean, I think they did a lot that actually benefited the game, but I think they also did a lot that kind of hurt the game. What benefited it is they actually changed up, because in the last couple of games you saw the general areas that you were in. It was really just kind of like cookie-cutter areas, and what I mean by that is areas that had been in previous games were pretty much taken out of that game, put into another game, and said it was Rome, or said it was, Florence, or said it was, some other city. But when you clearly could see that it really wasn't, they might have added, a few new markets there, but it was the general same area. So with this game, they added, you're in the U.S. or whatever, so not only is the area going to be completely different because of agricultural, architectural differences, but then a lot of the time you spend in the forest too. And when I bought the game, I was a little iffy on the forest part because I was like, well, am I going to be a monkey swinging through trees? But they somehow actually pulled it off. I'm not sure how they did it, but it's actually very easy and very fun to go through the forest on the trees. And the only downside to it is that not all areas have it, so you could spend most of your time looking for it, and you might not find one, but when you actually do find an area where you can start it, it's actually really fun to go through it.
Mm-hmm. It seems like they set that stuff up really well. It's, just like in 1 and 2, I've played some of, just like climbing on buildings, and most of the time they make it so it flows really smoothly, and it seems to be a plus for them.
Yeah. And then as far as some of the negatives in this game, I think the overall, I guess, how to say it, just basic system, they mess with it, and I really don't like it. Because it used to be where I would be able to, walk down the street, and then if I saw an enemy, I'd be able to switch my weapon to, let's say I had a gun, or I had the hidden blade set up, and then I wanted to go to a gun, or the hidden gun into the last game. I'd be able to do that, fine and dandy. But in this game, they set it up to where I actually have to stop, press another button, hold the button, and it takes me to a completely different menu, and then I actually have to select the weapon that I want. So it kind of actually makes you have to stop from the gameplay that you're in, and then to actually switch the weapon. And for me, it's a really, really bad thing, because I usually like to switch weapons in mid-combat. So I'll start off like trying to take out a couple guards with the tomahawk, and then to continue the chain combo, I want to switch to the bow, but I have the gun out. So when I'm ready to do the chain or whatever, then I have to press R2, which stops everything, and then I have to switch over to the gun, and then sometimes I miss the action command. That's pretty much what it is, and it messes up my combo. So I really don't like that part.
What do you think would be a better way of setting it up, or has there been a better way in past games?
Yeah, how they did it in Revelations. I know a lot of people complained about it because pretty much in Revelations you could have selected your weapon, but they would have given you an overall circle, so you just press the analog stick to what weapon that you wanted. But a lot of people complained about that because they said it was so giant, and when they pressed up, it didn't go up. It went, a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left. But I thought, if you knew what you wanted, you could still get it. It's not that hard to point it in a specific direction. I thought people would just be a crybaby about it. So I think how they had it in Revelations was perfect, in my opinion, but, people will always complain about something, so.
Yeah, well, that's true. As long as people are around, they will find a reason to complain.
Yeah. And then I also do definitely like the new weapons they put into this, because they had a crossbow in the last game, and they also... Oh, okay, no, I'm going to switch over to a completely different thing. Okay, smoke bombs. So in the last game, they introduced bomb making, which was iffy. I didn't like it. I really didn't use it that much. But they had pretty much 3 types of bombs: a tactical bomb, a stealth bomb, and a diversion bomb. So tactical, people, you place it where you want it to be, and then it blows people up pretty much. Stealth, smoke bomb. What was the other one I said? Oh, just like to hurt people. You could throw it at them and they blow up or whatever. And in this game, they just gave you the option to have the smoke bomb. You don't need to make it. It's just there and you can buy it. I really like that part of it, because there was no need to have all these different bombs that just like, oh, okay, I want a bomb that spits out goat blood and shatters money everywhere. There was no need for that. I just wanted a smoke bomb, and they finally gave it to me in this game, so I like that part about it.
Well, I remember the smoke bombs in Resident Evil 2, Assassin's Creed 2 being pretty good. I didn't have any complaints about them, at least.
Are you sure it was in 2? Because they didn't introduce the smoke bomb until Revelation.
It was definitely something like a smoke bomb. I was just playing it like a few weeks ago. I mean, it was something that you threw down on the ground, and it was like Batman style, and just like smoke cloud filled all around you.
It might have been the smoke pellet, but they didn't have a smoke bomb.
Okay, well, it could have been smoke pellet then. I honestly don't know. I was just like, here's the controller, go, have fun with it. And I'm like, yes, I shall. But,
this button throws this thing on the ground, I'll take it.
Sure, why not? I remember like the handgun you got in, not the hand, well, technically, whatever, that you got in Assassin's Creed 2. I remember that being like, oh, this is going to be so much fun, and then it just sucked so much. So I'm glad to see that they did a decent job with the weapons. What would you say overall? Is it worth buying? Just give it on a scale of 1 to 10. What would you give it?
That's going to be difficult. I think if you haven't played an Assassin's Creed game before and you want to like just start, I wouldn't recommend this one. I would probably recommend Brotherhood. You know, not a lot of people say that. People actually don't like Brotherhood for some reason, but I would actually recommend Brotherhood. But as far as if you actually are an Assassin's Creed fan, but you weren't sure how this game would turn out just because of all the different, you know, things they implemented, I'd say, yeah, it's still worth your time because there are some changes for better or for worse, but the overall gameplay is still the same, and you get a lot of new things coming towards you that actually flow well with it. So I think it's worth your money if you're a fan. So,
well, all right, there you go. The final verdict on Assassin's Creed 3. If I had a new system, I might give it a try, but I don't because I'm poor. So, all right, moving on.
Yay for being poor.
Yay!
Oh, speaking of being poor, I have no segue. Continue.
It's probably for the best. I could
share one of my poor stories of sadness.
Oh,
I'll
please,
stop.
Please stop ruining our.
Well, I have a poorer story.
No.
Oh.
No, we're having a good old-fashioned pour-off right here. Oh, man.
I see what you did there.
One Christmas, I didn't get any presents.
Well, maybe you just didn't deserve any presents.
Christmas stories, don't do this.
Just kidding, I'm Jewish. I never get presents.
What a twist!
Touché.
The kid that never gets presents for Christmas. And he's Jewish! What a twist!
That joke about the Jewish holiday the other day, because like I was like, okay, so Christmas is basically based on the birth of Jesus Christ or whatever, or something like that. And then Jewish holiday is pretty much, you know, celebrating with the fact that the oil lasted a little bit longer than they thought it would. So I thought that was hilarious.
That's much. Oh, God.
Oh, holidays. Fun. Well, speaking of new games, I didn't get to watch a lot of the gameplay for Halo 4, but I watched like the first hour of the game, and I gotta say that a lot of people were skeptical about Bungie not being the developer for this. I don't know who the developer is, but you know, I'm not actually that much into Halo to really care that much, but it did just come out a couple days ago, so I figured I'd mention it, and I gotta say, this looked just like a Halo game. I mean, I didn't get too deep into it, but everything I saw, the weapons, the vehicles, everything looked the same. So I don't know. It just looked boring. And why couldn't they have just let Halo die? I know that they can't because it makes money, but it's just, you know, you're getting into that territory of games that are going to be forgettable real fast, and it's just
it's true.
I'm never a fan of first-person shooters, but like, you need to have some other elements if you're going to keep them alive, because like you're either first-person shooters are usually like good for like one series, like Call of Duty. I don't even understand how it got so far.
So
I
have
one word for you involving first-person shooters, and that word is hats.
Hats are how you keep a game going.
Yeah, my bad.
Well,
like Metroid Prime had, I didn't get into that either, but I think it's a lot better done than modern first-person shooters because it had like platforming elements too and puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm actually going to defend one genre of first-person shooter, and I don't do this often, so don't sue me or whatever. But I'm I'm defending Call of Duty, but not the Modern Warfare series. I'm defending the Black Ops series. Because like you said, when you take a first-person shooter and you just do the same thing over and over again, it's going to get boring. But the thing with what Treyarch has done with their series is not only are they changing up how they actually run the multiplayer server, you know, because everybody loves the multiplayer, but the multiplayer isn't everything that it has going for itself. They also have the zombies. I think more people are actually attracted to the zombie aspect of it than they are the multiplayer. Because everybody that I've talked to is just like, hey, you're getting Black Ops 2? Be like, yeah, what are you most excited for? Zombies. And they're making a big jump with this game, too, because it used to be that you could only play on a storyline server. I'm not going to go into the specifics of what a storyline server is, but now it's changing to a multiplayer server so you could actually get more people involved in it, which is kind of cool. So they keep changing it up, and that's the only reason why they have stayed alive. As far as the Modern Warfare series go, I don't know. I'm still don't understand that. So
guys just like shooting each other and saying how awesome they are and teabagging people in their day.
You know, it's fun though. Like Alta and I were just playing, you know, Killing Floor before this, and I'm not a big first-person shooter fan necessarily, but you know, it's just great, especially if you're coming home from a long, hard day. You just want to shoot something. You know, really, you just want to annihilate something with bullets.
I like using the melee classes. Just the only reason is I'm going to mention is because in Resident Evil, I always do like hard mode on knife run, like a hard run knife mode. Anyway, so that's why I like. You know what? Anyone playing Killing Floor, Johnny is amazing, and I suck because I'm a noob. But
I'm not that
Sorry,
good. Well,
it
that's
happens.
probably that's probably what's appealing to it for me is that I suck at first-person shooters otherwise. But whenever I play this game, I'm like always like first or second on the team, and I don't know why. But it's just seriously, you can put me in front of any other first-person shooter, and I'll just suck. I'll just go mentally retarded on you or something, you know. And you should never go
let's
full
get
retard.
retarded and high.
Yeah.
See, I think it's
It's like you say. I like it. You know, when you want to go home and just play something easy and beat the crap out of stuff. You say you like shooting things. I like playing Dynasty Warrior type games where you just mindless beat the crap out of things. It's
Yeah,
relaxing.
that's satisfying to kill 20 people in one big giant swipe of a sword.
I hate
that's
having
what-
I hate having to shoot everything that you kill because, like, in Halo, I'd much rather use the swords because I get way more satisfaction out of like getting up close in their face and beating the crap out of things. That's why I like Zelda so much. You get this close range weapon, just slicing, and you knock them out.
Well, I mean, some of fighting systems are like that can get really boring and really repetitive. Like, I was going back to Assassin's Creed, and I was playing that, and I gotta say, like, probably like the standard for like fighting in a non-fighting genre game has got to be the Batman games because they flow so well. I mean, they're a little unrealistic in the way that Batman's able to, do multipliers off of like half of a dozen people, but it just feels so awesome. It's like counter, punch, cartwheel into, tornado kick. It's just like that's
Tap dance real
awesome.
quick.
And then it
I
does
never
it does a
those,
slow
but I
mo
did
on
think
the
it
final
looked
hit.
cool.
Well, it's
They're
based
really
off
good
the Batman Begins thing where he was trained, to be able to take on groups of people at a time.
Mm-hmm.
He's never stopping. He's always moving.
Yeah, I mean, it's so satisfying. I don't even bother with the passive or the abilities that you have to, like pull out your batarang or anything. I just go for the straight up passive stuff because I'd rather just get in there and punch someone in the face. Whatever.
Don't we all sometimes?
But getting back to what you were saying about Call of Duty, I would actually prefer to play a Call of Duty or a Battlefront to Halo. I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's the realism. It might be, but I just prefer that much more to Halo style stuff. I don't know. That's just
I
me.
like
new
Halo
Halos-
'cause it's not like actual, because it's like a fantasy,
not
alien,
Battlefield or
sci-fi
not.
type of thing. It's not actual wars that happen. Is that I don't know.
At least they
I'm
moved away
not
from
that into
World War II.
history as it is, but
Yeah, you got a good point there.
That's probably why.
I mean,
Yeah, that's why I like the Assassin's Creed series so much because of the plays they do on the history. It makes me really excited. I'm a nerd that way.
Yeah,
so.
well, I mean, isn't all of your targets, aren't they supposed to be based at least on historical figures, people that actually existed?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
That's why
really cool.
this one this is going to be a nerd moment right here. But that's why I was really excited for this one. The main reason why, because any major killings that you do in this game are actually based on historical facts on where the people died and how they died.
Yeah, I mean, that's really awesome, because I found myself wanting to look at the bios for people that were my next target, so you could just, like, find out how vile and evil of a person that they are, because some of them are just, like, pretty messed up stuff that they did, and, but then you give them such a simple killing, and you're like, rest in peace, it's like, dude, they deserve to, like, have all their limbs ripped off, and,
But I guess, like, also, what a lot of people fail to understand is, like, all these people that have done stuff, yeah, they've done horrible, horrible stuff. But the assassins aren't, saints either. They've done their fair share of horrible stuff as well. It's all based on perspective because, like, they were saying, too, Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Samuel Adams, they were all fighting for a free country, right? But yet they still, at that current time, owned slaves, and they said that they were proud to own slaves. And it's just one of those things where it's like, how can you fight for a free country, but yet you're still owning a slave? So it's just one of those things where it's all based on your perspective. People do horrible things, but some people think it's more the ends justify the means type of thing, and some people just do it just because, they think it's okay. Plain and simple. So.
I imagine people were proud back then because it was like a luxury item. Like, if you can have a Ferrari, hey, you could have a little, like, broken down 1997 Saturn like I have. Or you could have a Ferrari, which is amazing. And
I'm
back
sorry
then,
for your pain.
Well,
You know what? I paid $250 for it. I have to fix up the master cylinder. I think it's worth it, but yeah, 1997 Saturn. They don't even make Saturns anymore, do they?
No.
No,
think
sir.
so.
They're
Yeah,
they Pontiac.
Oh, I thought they did. My bad.
I like
You know
to
what's
look
now?
at Pontiacs. Like I
You
picked
know
out
what?
when I was car shopping, I picked out like 5 of them. I didn't realize they were all Pontiacs.
Yeah,
You have an
Pontiac is my
affinity
car.
for
I had a
Pontiacs.
Pontiac Sunfire for my first car, and that thing pulled. I love that car so much.
I drive an '06 Grand Prix.
I love you, Gainer.
That's nice.
I drive a 1987 Fire Arrow. No, my bad. It's a 1980. No, it's an 88. Yeah,
Wow.
Plymouth Fire Arrow.
Yeah, I'd hate to get 87 and 88 mixed up because, you know, I can envision those so differently.
Yeah. I had to think. It's either because they made them for 3 years. Whatever.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I had a Honda Civic. That was my first car. 93 Honda Civic, and that thing, I loved it so much. I swear, when I get a new car next time, it's going to be a Honda. Definitely. Probably a Civic.
Yeah, because I guess out of the 90s Hondas, those are the best well-made cars. Like, I have a friend who seriously abuses his Honda to hell. He has tried a four-wheel in that Honda, and it's 91, it's still chugging, and he actually got emissions done recently, and he said it passed with flying colors. Be like, how did that car pass with flying colors? I don't think you've done an oil change on it in, like, at least 3 years.
Nice.
So, those Hondas, I'll give them credit. In the 90s, they did something right, because those are the best.
They run, man. They run, I'm telling you. They're fun to drive, too. But, anyhow, we really deviated from video games.
Yeah,
Hey,
somehow.
let's
I was
talk
just
about
about to
cars.
talk.
Video games.
Getting-
Everyone remember Gran Turismo? No? Okay,
Yeah,
let's
kinda,
get going.
Well, okay, we'll segue into talking about Need for Speed Most Wanted. Oh, okay, good.
No. No, Gran Turismo is actually... The only story I have relevant to that was I knew one guy who had the peripherals for it. He had the pedals and the steering wheel.
I had it too.
And that was just, like, so cool. I mean, I didn't like that game because it was the first game that I think it ever played that had realistic driving to it. But just the fact that you had the steering wheel and the pedals, I thought that was awesome.
Yep,
as
and
hell.
it would hook up to the GameCube, the Xbox, and the PS2. I had one.
Wow.
Did you realize that you couldn't drive either, Johnny?
I can't drive still. I think if I learned anything about driving, it was probably from playing Cruisin' USA more than any
God.
other game.
Dude, is that for the one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cruising USA and Cruising World.
Oh yeah.
Cruising, yeah.
Because I remember
Those songs in
that.
that game freaking pissed me off. My grandmother gets
I remember
angry at
just,
the
like,
songs that I played.
They were fun though. They were a lot of fun. They were like, I remember it was my birthday when we used to have arcades around here, and there was like, some of the games that cost like 3 tokens to play. It's like, oh, these are the high end games that just came out. And I remember, I don't know, I probably got like $20 in coins or something, and I was just sitting there like owning that Cruisin' USA cabinet. I'm like, no one's touching this. I've monopolized the cabinet. It's mine for the rest of the day.
You must pay me to get me up.
Yeah, it was just a good time, but I don't know.
I remember playing that at Chuck E. Cheese. Good times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's still here at my Chuck E.
Chuck
Cheese.
E. Cheese, man. Jeez.
One token gets you all the games you want.
I wanted to say one thing I didn't mention in that you were talking about Halo. It's going back just real quick. I don't know if you guys saw the article about it. How the Bungie they made their own company or whatever. And, it's not Bungie, and they're working on their new game, but it's pretty much the same thing as Halo. Like that's what the inside sources are saying. They're like, this is just like Halo.
Hey, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
For sure. So, let's see. What else? What else is there? Racing games we've covered. Good. We got that off the list.
Okay, what's your favorite Mega Man?
Oh, God.
My favorite Mega Man?
All-time Mega Man.
X4.
Okay, that answers to what Mega Man you want to play. I'll follow up with, doesn't matter what Mega Man you want to play.
Good follow-up. Why X4 in particular? I mean, that's the first one off of the Super Nintendo. It's just something about it.
I think X3 also had a PlayStation version, but it was a Super Nintendo game as well.
I know that X3 for the Super Nintendo is one of the most expensive Super Nintendo games out there. That's like a close to $200 game.
Huh.
But I don't know. Guess not a lot of people bought it. But was there a reason for X4? Was it just like the first one that you got for something?
It was my first Mega Man game was actually Mega Man Legends for the PlayStation, and I really enjoyed. I loved that game. I thought it was really fun at the time. I never played any of the original Mega Mans because I wasn't really into Nintendo at the time when Mega Man was around.
Sure.
I was more into watching my brother play, and we played all kinds of stuff. But X4 was the first one that I got into, like, the X series, and I just loved how... I loved all the bosses, I loved all the power-ups, I loved how you could get, like, the Shoryuken and all that good stuff, and... I don't know, something about X4 just hit a chord with me.
Well,
really enjoy it.
There's something to say for there actually being a story in the X series, as where with the classic series, it's like, oh, Wily escaped again. Oh, and again. Oh, we should really kill that guy. You know that? No. I'm sure he won't escape a third time. Damn!
It's funny though in the Mega Man's the X series how how they have Zero. It's Mega or it's
sure.
What is it called? It's with Zeros as the main character. Is it Mega Man?
It's Mega Man Zero.
Mega Man Zero. Okay. I think it was funny because when Mega Man X6 came out,
Yeah.
The creator said he didn't want to do it. He was like, okay, I was kind of ending it on 5. That was where it was supposed to end.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we're going to make 6. And he's like, okay, whatever. And then they wanted to make X7 and so on and so on. And he was just like, dude, I don't want to do this, And they keep forcing him to make these stories. And the same thing happened with Zero, because Zero is a continuation of X of some sort. And it's the same thing happened to him again. He wanted to end it after the Game Boy Advance version. It was supposed to be over. It's like, yeah, Zero's dead, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And it kept going on to the DS ones, and it was just like he couldn't catch a break. And that's why you see a lot of the quality starts to slip.
Yeah.
Kind of like Dragon Ball Z. That was supposed to be done at the Frieza saga, but then they're like, no, you must keep making this. And Akira Toriyama's like, fine.
I thought the Cell Saga was pretty good. I honestly thought...
Yeah, the Cell Saga was decent, but then after that, it was just like he wasn't trying anymore because he didn't really... Like, he wanted to be over so long ago. He's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Too
I
bad
like the Blue Saga.
I make the ratings go down. They'll cancel the show, and then I don't have to do this anymore.
He's
That
like
reminds me
trying
of-
hard. He's trolling it so hard. He's like, maybe if I make them do this stupid fusion dance, they'll hate me. They love it? What? This is bullcrap.
Reminds me of how Seth MacFarlane said he wanted Family Guy to be canceled a couple seasons ago. And it just keeps going.
I can't believe it just keeps going, dude. People still watch Family Guy anymore?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Is that why Family Guy's been terrible
So-
lately?
I haven't watched it.
Yeah,
in
Family Guy's been terrible.
And that's just kind of ironic, because Family Guy got canceled, after its first season, and then people were fighting to get it back, and then they finally do, and now you have a situation like this brewing. But I don't know. I don't understand why he has 3 shows. Why does he have American Dad and Cleveland show? I mean, American Dad is not so bad, but Cleveland show
I love
is
American
just
Dad.
Cleveland,
ridiculous.
Cleveland show sucks.
Oh, I
Yeah.
like the
Uh,
Cleveland show.
Cleveland
Cleveland
shows.
shows Black Family Guy. Come on.
Except it makes me angry. All the jokes are way more just aggravating.
Well, it's got to be like a slope of material. It's like, awesome, best jokes, Family Guy. Second best, we'll go to American Dad, and whatever crap we can come up with, we'll go to Cleveland show. Yeah,
Oh no!
go
I
team.
think American Dad gets the better end of the like American Dad. I love the characters. It's like there's the dad, there's the son, there's the daughter. With with Family Guy, it's retarded dad, retarded son. Everyone hates Meg. There's Lois, who's annoying. Brian, who's the writer, who everyone also hates. And then there's Stewie, who's gay. Hey. Show seems legit.
I remember when Stewie wasn't gay and he wanted to kill his mother. That's when Family Guy was okay.
Like I don't have any problem with gay Stewie. I mean, but I'm just saying, old Stewie was pretty.
See,
cool.
this is why I still watch South Park, because that's a show that's honestly only gotten better in time.
Oh,
The
yeah.
first few seasons of it, they do their own thing with it, which is fine, and it worked. But now where it's, this socio-political, commentary on things, and, it really only speaks to the time. It's not a show that's going to go on to be as timeless as, The Simpsons is, but it's just they really hit the nail on the head with whatever theme they're trying to work into any episode. And that's just
Actually,
great
like
about
the
it.
episode where they were talking about how the bar has been lowered in the one joke. They're like, is it possible that somehow we did this?
Oh, James
I
Cameron.
didn't find that episode that funny, the one with Honey Boo Boo.
Over his body. It was pretty good. I mean, there have been some episodes this season, like the one where they went to Hawaii and had the timeshare thing. I thought that one was pretty weak, but there have been some good ones. There's the Bane episode. Everyone loves Bane.
Oh,
Yes.
Batman.
I haven't seen South Park since the movie back in the way
I like it
back when.
better when the new episodes don't try to be so modern, like with Honey Boo Boo, how it's like so current.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Sometimes they have to,
you know,
because they're...
Because it's not something
don't
that's
have-
going to last like Simpsons. It's just not. They're not. They you know, there is some morality questions to the episodes, certainly, but they're only present in the now. You know, people aren't going to like they're going to see Honey Boo Boo in 10 years, and I don't know what they'll think. Hopefully, that will be long dead. But you know, the way TV works, who
Hopefully
knows?
she will grow up to be a well-adjusted human being.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh well. Anyhow, let's see. ZhangFei. That's just a fun name to say.
ZhangFei!
Jeffrey.
Jeff. That just sounds like Jeffrey.
I love how everyone has said it wrong so far.
That's all right. It doesn't matter how we say it.
ZhangFei500, but whatever. You don't need to
Oh,
put
I
the
thought they
last
said
part.
Jeffrey. My bad.
Jeffrey.
Wow, you even have the formal name in there. You really know your stuff.
So
Yes, sir.
I applaud you.
the
By
last
applaud, he
game,
means not doing anything.
Right.
the newest game that you've been playing is Shinobi for the PS2. How does that rank against the Ninja Gaiden, the newer Ninja Gaiden kind of games?
If you compared it to Ninja Gaiden 3, then it's a lot better. But the other one's its ass. Shinobi, that game came back in 2002. It was like one of the Generation 1 PS2 games or whatever, and it was, at the time, like Ninja Gaiden. It was like the difficulty level was that of the old Ninja Gaiden games.
Yeah, well, even the new
They got
Ninja
all kinds of
Gaiden
reviews
games.
saying it was terribly difficult, you know?
Yeah, well, even the new Ninja Gaiden games I played a bit of, and they still seem like they've got the difficulty curve of the originals, honestly.
Yeah, they're difficult. They're hard, and Shinobi's harder for a different reason. I liked the game, I really do, but it still has its level of frustrations, is because, it was still early in the PS2's lifespan, and the controls and the camera, they're not all there, and it has some really cheap ass. They try to keep it like the Genesis version, where it's like, if you die in a stage, you go back to the beginning.
Oh. Yeah, well, it's rough for any, especially like a third-party developer coming up in the first generation of games for a new system because, there's a lot of hidden gems for games, but most of those games are games that came out, long after the prime of a certain system. When you're dealing with the first generation of games for a system, all of those are going to get looked over because you only have so many games to play anyway. So that can really be, just a hazard of getting out there right away with new hardware.
Mm-hmm. It's not a bad game.
They're still exploring the capabilities of the system itself.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it took forever for the PS2 in particular to kind of use 100% of its hardware capabilities.
Yeah, it suffers from other things too. The voice acting's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. The stage design on it is pretty lackluster, as well as the enemies. They reskin a whole lot of enemies. It's a short game. There's only 8 stages to it. Each stage has 2 parts, but it definitely shows its age. Most recent episode, I about flipped the table because I died a million freaking times. I even had to speed up the episode at a certain part because it was just me falling into water over and over and over.
That's a rough situation right there. You know what series doesn't get a lot of love? It's really good is the Tenchu series. I mean, people don't really talk about that much, and I don't know if you guys have ever played one of the Tenchu games, but those are really fun. But they're totally different, just in the fact that they're, you're trying to be an assassin, and you're trying not to get noticed and kill people off, and I thought those were really cool for the time.
Damn it, Johnny! It is hard to understand you.
He's talking about the Tenchu games, the assassin. The ninja.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can hear Tenchu.
I don't know why Skype hates me. This is what happened last week. It was really weird. I don't know why. Oh, no.
The thing is that they were really, really unforgiving, like the original Hitman games, where it's like, hey, there's this one way to make it through this stage. Figure it out.
Mm-hmm. The enemies did too much damage in that game, too. It was like, I'm a ninja. Why can I not kill this random peon? What the hell?
That kind of bothered me with Dishonored, too. Like, I get it, you were supposed to be stealthy, but you were still, the queen's, best bodyguard. Why the fuck couldn't you take on 4 guys at once? Or maybe I just did it wrong. I don't know.
The thing I hate about Dishonored is that, they're always like, ooh, time the block to, stun your opponent there. But if there was more than one guy, they waited so that if you block somebody and they got staggered, before you could kill them, the other guy would hit you.
Yeah.
It was they had perfect rhythm and timing for everybody.
Yeah, that can be a problem. That's why I liked Batman, Arkham City, because it seemed like you could counter anyone from like anywhere around you. Even with like the Assassin's Creed games that I was playing recently, you kind of had that issue to a certain degree.
I think you weren't playing it right, Johnny.
I was probably not playing it right. I'll be the first to admit. I'm like, what? This isn't Mega Man. I don't know what's happening here. There's more than 2 buttons on the controller. This is preposterous. Oh.
It's like when Johnny found out that Gran Turismo had real life, like, realistic driving. Johnny, you know, like real racing.
Oh, like real.
Why you no race?
And then I hulked up and I destroyed everything. It was a
I must
wonderful
have
time.
flipped about 18 different cars in like the first half an hour when I got Gran Turismo. I think it was it Gran Turismo 4 for the PS2?
Beats me.
If you manage to flip a car on Gran Turismo 4, I applaud you, because that is damn near impossible, because the physics in that game don't allow to, except for rare occasions, which I have a recording of my dad trying to play Gran Turismo, and he managed to flip the car after me and my buddy tried forever.
You have done the impossible. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Your medal
I
is
applaud
in the
you,
mail.
sir.
Well, alright, so we're getting towards the end of our evening, and at the end of every evening we do what we call the 10 questions, which we stole from James Lipton, who stole it from the French television host Bernard Pivot. So, I hope you can hear me well enough
Hopefully.
for this. Anyhow.
And if not, everyone will die.
And they died. Alright, so there are 10 questions. This is kind of like a Rorschach kind of ink blot test type of thing. So we'll ask you the question, and you're pretty much just supposed to say the first thing that comes to mind, really. Just don't think about anything too hard, is what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so the first of the 10 questions is, what is your favorite word?
Bum rush.
Awesome.
Final Fantasy VI.
Nice. Question number 2, what is your least favorite word?
Don't know.
Say Batman.
Yeah.
There must be an answer.
Least favorite? To be honest with you, probably be goddammit. That would be my least favorite word.
Oh, thank you.
Alright. What turns you on? Creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Turns me on. Music.
Okay. And what turns you off?
I'd have to say bad smells.
Question number 5, my personal favorite. What is your favorite curse word?
Favorite curse word? I really shouldn't answer that. But,
Who are you, Richard Gere or something? Good lord.
yeah, right? No, I don't really have a favorite curse word, because I know I'm not supposed to, but...
Well, you gotta say something. You got to.
I'd probably say fuck.
Okay, go with the standard.
Oh, fuck.
There's
fuck.
nothing wrong with the standard, that's for sure. And it doesn't have to be necessarily a word that would get bleeped out on television, but...
Right. Oh, no, it was more, I know I shouldn't like damn morals. Like I told you, I grew up in a pretty strong Christian family, so...
Sure. No, it's all good. It's understandable. What sound or noise do you love?
Sound of,
Music.
The movie?
Yeah.
No. Wow. I really can't think of... I'm thinking too hard about it. Let's just say soup boiling. Yeah, I like soup cooking. Let's go with that.
All right, why not?
First thing that comes to my mind.
And what sound or noise do you hate?
Oh, Velcro.
Oh, that's a good one. No, let's see, question 8. This is, how should I word this? What profession other than your own would you like to attempt, or what would you want to be, what's your dream job?
My dream job, well, that's a good question, because it's changed over a whole bunch. To be honest with you, I would have liked to have been a teacher.
Yeah, I've thought about that, too. That would be a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, it's just teachers don't get enough respect. I realized that it was like, you don't get enough respect, you don't get paid. It's just, it's a hard job.
Mm-hmm. Question 8, what profession or would you not like to do?
I can definitely tell you, without a doubt, it would be a roofer.
Have you done that before?
Yes, I have. I've done it several times, and I absolutely hate it every single time.
Well, there you go. No better way of knowing than through experience. And question 10, this one should be great for you, considering your upbringing. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Well, too bad my Bible quotes are awful, but I know what it would say. It's been forever since I've actually read it.
It doesn't have to be from the Bible.
But it would. I know what it would be because it's specific. What it says that in my, I'm Christian. What it says that God will say to you when you get to heaven, and I believe it's like, "Well done." I can't remember specifically.
Well
there
done.
is a line.
You've won.
Well done.
You've won the golden ticket.
You are our 1
Do I get a
millionth
gold
customer.
banana sticker, and does it scratch and sniff?
Yes.
All right, well, there you go. Those are the 10 questions with the ZhangFei500. Thanks a lot for joining us tonight. Really appreciate having you out. We're going to have your channel down in the description below. Everyone go check them out.
I got nothing of that.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's
It's
all
always
right.
at the end.
'Cause I will.
He said he was happy to have him on,
Yep.
and
I'll
that
just go with that.
whenever in the future, if he wants to,
Yeah.
he can always come back.
You're
for
always
pancakes.
welcome back.
Pancakes
Once on
in the
FNS, always on
So-
FNS.
Does that mean I'm annexed from the room forever?
No,
Is this my-
we're growing a little cult here. You see, it's working out quite well.
I don't know what you just said, but I don't like it.
All right, I have lost all ability to speak in Skype. So anyhow, that's the rest of the night. Everyone, thanks for listening. This has been Friday Night Skype. We'll talk to you all next week.